We decided to go into the city this morning to shop for longxia, or crawfish, so we could have crawfish dinner tonight, and thought maybe we'd try to give you a little visual taste of what it's like to go in and ride on our new China Harley. It's a 125cc motorcycle that we bought last week, so here you go. The main road that enters Xiangfan from the west, and we're actually on the the bike road. Many of the main streets in Xiangfan have these side streets, and you can see it's kind of tight quarters, and cars rule the road. But this is the best place for us to use the bike because we don't have a plate on the motorcycle, and we don't need any trouble with the police. We're coming up on the roundabout that we need to take in order to head north and cross the Archao, the number 2 bridge over the Hangjiang. So we're going to curve around to the left here. Might find the traffic in China a little more visually stimulating than back home, but this is a light day when it comes to traffic. Up here on the right, there are police who are stopping trucks to check their paperwork, I suppose to see how heavy their load is before they cross the bridge. Now we're going to enter the bridge. It might look like we're zipping along here pretty quickly, but I can assure you we're only traveling about 30 kilometers an hour. If you're looking off into the distance there and noticing the air quality, this is a frequent conversation Jenny and I have. She calls this fog. I call this smog. It's a summer day. It's about noon. In my humble opinion, I don't think this is fog. Alright, so this is the Hangjiang, one of the last major rivers left in China that is not polluted, which is why the Beijing government spent a few years building a huge pipeline that they just completed this year, now piping water from Xiangfan to Beijing. This is the lowest I can remember the river being. The other day I noticed there were people walking between those little islands there, and the water was maybe knee-high to thigh-high deep. The apartment complex you see across the river is about 5 years old, and Jenny tells me that you can buy an 80 square meter apartment there for around 1 million renminbi, which would make it about $150,000, and that would be unfinished, undecorated as they say here, but unfinished in the interior. Here's the China cliche: a woman with an umbrella on a bicycle. I'm going to pass by these people here on the left, and I'm going to kind of scooch in to the right of the bus, past the bus on the right, and in China, that's okay. We'll exit the bridge on this narrow aisle because the policeman who stands at the end of the bridge on those two main lanes frowns on motorcycles using those two lanes. So just to be on the safe side, we're just going to stay on this longxia. And around the corner, another cop. The law enforcement personnel in Xiangfan and some of the other cities I've been in China seems to be much higher visibility than I remember back in my hometown. So now we're on Xiangfan Loop. It's one of the main streets in Xiangfan. This intersection that we're coming up on here, Jenny and I used to live in an apartment building on the 13th floor. The red building you see there in the background is the Longxia, the Good Neighbor supermarket, where we did our shopping. We failed to remember to take any video when we went to the Shichang, the wet market, and we went shopping for the longxia and spices. So I apologize for that, but I did put together some video for another post on cooking that dish. So we'll be going to do our shopping, have some lunch, and I'll include some return trip video at the end of this, and check in with you here shortly. We've had our lunch now and getting ready to head back home. We're in front of the Xiangfan, the new shopping mall in Xiangfan that has the Walmart. We did not have lunch at the KFC you can see there. Here in front they have all these bikes parked for equi. You have an attendant who will make sure your bike doesn't get stolen. The red bikes here on the right, the three-wheeled bikes, are called longxia, which means three-wheeled bike. There is where we had lunch. A place I never patronized back in the States, but there you go.